Welcome to this week's Gemba Talks episode. Today our guest is Karyn Ross. She's an author, she's a coach, consultant, and she's going to be sharing today with us a little bit more on service excellence, how to use creativity to boost lean initiatives. Well, Karyn, it's a pleasure for us to have having you in this show. We are huge fans of your work, of your book, and thank you again for your time.
Oh, thank you so much. Muito obrigada. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on today's Gemba Talk.
Cool. Karyn, for us to start, when we met, which was like a month ago in São Paulo, we were having coffee and we were really surprised by your history with Lean, right? How you started your Lean journey. Could you share a bit of that with our audience on how you started practicing Lean and how you started evangelizing this concept throughout the whole world?
Sure, I would love to. Actually, I was an at-home mom and I stayed home and I raised children and I didn't work outside the home until I was in my 40s. And when I went to work, I got a job in a customer service position in a payroll company. And so we processed payroll for small businesses and I took care of 300 customers. I manually typed their payroll into the old DOS computer system. Remember that blue screen, F6, F7, F8? And we didn't produce a 100% defect-free payroll for our customers at every time. And I don't know if anybody in the audience has ever had a mistake on their paycheck, but if that happens, people are very unhappy. And then they would call us, the people who processed their payroll, and they would shout at us on the phone, which made us very upset. And it wasn't a very good circumstance for either us or our customers. So I thought there has got to be a better way to do this work. I heard the word Kaizen, and I didn't know what it meant. So I asked my husband, who is a professor of Asian studies, to go to his college library and see if he could find a book or an article on Kaizen for me. And he brought home Masakai Imai's book, Kaizen. I read it, and even though it was all about manufacturing and making cars, I saw immediately how it could apply to the work that we were doing in processing payrolls. I then got the manager of the branch I was working in to agree to allow me to start a committee with all the people who did the work, the people who processed the payrolls, the people who packed the payrolls, the people who delivered the payrolls, the receptionists. And we actually started using all of these lean concepts that I was reading about to work on the real problems our customers were having. And in 2 years, we made huge improvements, not only to the way our customers were satisfied, but how it felt for us doing the work. So I never, ever forget what it was like actually to be in the Gemba, the place the work is done, as we say in Lean, and how it felt, because we always need to put our customers first and take care of our customers. And as I went further and I learned Lean and I found teachers like Leslie Henkler and my friend Jeff Liker, and I moved to other organizations and eventually started my own business, I never forget what it was like to be a customer service representative working in Gemba, and that no matter who we are, what we do, we have to put the needs of our customers first and create the best ways to serve them.
Perfect. And for those of you who don't know, Karyn is the co-author of the Toyota Way for Service Excellence. And I think that before we dig deeper into what it means to have excellence in services and your peak services model, it would be nice for you to share with us your story on how you end up writing the book with Jeffrey Liker. That's a very funny story and a true example of what we call here at Pipefy a honey badger or a real doer, right?
Yes. So oftentimes people ask me, well, how did you end up working with Jeff Liker? You were a payroll specialist. And one of the things that I was doing was, of course, reading books and teaching other people from the books I was reading. So I actually read Jeff's book, Toyota Way to Continuous Improvement, and I had some questions about what I read in the first few chapters. Now, my husband is a professor, as I said, and he has a public email address on his college website. And I knew Jeff was a professor at University of Michigan. So I looked up Jeff's email address on the web and I sent him a note with my questions. And I thought, okay, there's only two possible things that could happen. 50% he will respond, 50% he won't respond. Well, Jeff being Jeff, in 15 minutes, he actually responded and we started corresponding. And over the years, we developed a relationship. And in the end, after 6 people asked Jeff one week, can you recommend a good book on lean and services? And 6 people asked me, and we realized we couldn't. We decided to write Toyota Way to Service Excellence together. So one of the pieces of advice that I'm going to give people, and at the end as well, we have many things, assumptions in our mind that prevent us from doing things. People would think, well, how would someone who is nobody, a payroll specialist in a company, write to somebody who's so well known and famous and expect them to respond or maybe even to help? But if we dispel those assumptions and we actually just go ahead and do things, we might find that we get amazing results. So I never worry about what's going to happen if I try something. I actually worry about what's going to happen if I don't try something. So that's how Jeff and I met and how I've actually accomplished many of the things that I do. I just stop thinking about what can't happen and start thinking and doing what can.